to your favorite program on Living Television about issues of the moment. And on today's edition of the program, we are going to take a look at a very important topic, a topical issue that concerns the youth. And remember that the youth are said to be the leaders of tomorrow, although in Nigeria it is the other way around. Today we are going to take a look at the drug methamphetamine, popularly known as Mkpurumiri in Igbo parlance. And according to records, it's a stimulant that was discovered in the 19th century, a type of drug that makes it possible for the users to remain awake and engage in continuous activity with less need for sleep. This drug is also nicknamed crystal meth, or known in local parlance as Mkpurumiri, and is made in various forms such as pills and powders, and the target group are young adults. In the words of the master storyteller Chinua Achebe, the use of this popular drug is spreading like wildfire, especially in rural communities. And the big question is, what can be done to address the menace? And today we are privileged to have in our studio of Living Television Film Academy somebody that has devoted her life in the fight against child abuse. She is Onyinyechi Nwosu Onyinye. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I also have in the studio this morning a professional colleague, Emmanuel Ifani Chukwu, a writer for the New Telegraph. Ifani Chukwu, welcome to Issues of the Moment.
Thank you, James, and welcome our viewers everywhere.
Onyinye, let me start with you. This is your area. I know that you are not an officer of NDLEA, but this drug has been there more than 2 centuries ago. Why do you think it has become more popular recently? What's the attraction of Mkpurumiri?
Okay, the attraction and what has it become? Why has it become very popular in recent times? Okay, we must be able to situate whatever is happening with the recent time. I always tell people, each time we talk about today's young people, I'll tell them that the young people of today are exposed to more dangers and everything you can think of, more than any other in the past generations. Because we have the influence of the media, they have more access to information, negative as well as positive. The peer pressure, the peer influence is getting higher than before. So you just see that everyone wants to meet up. And it's also the issue of, I must say at this point, that we have very negative influence from the adult population. When we have adult population who wear morals as we used to be in there and become something that is on the floor, everyone wants to be at the top. And for many of these people, remember, they are going to the rural communities, and the only thing that makes sense in our settings today is someone being very rich. So when you are not super rich and you want to be influential in their own sense, they will just do whatever they want to do to be hyped, to be seen as people who are great. So you just see a lot of things influencing young people, like I said, the media and a lot of things. And once it gets to one person, it flows on to the other person. And okay, in the past, one wouldn't have known what was going on anyway. Like in many other crimes, they used to be there, maybe not as high as they are, but now, one thing with the social media, it's out and everybody knows about it. So that's what I see with the Mkpurumiri thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Ifani, you heard her very well. It's accusing the media, and this is our area. Do you agree with her, or do you have a contrary opinion?
I must be very frank to you. I do not agree on that. Because what we are seeing in Nigeria generally, especially in the southeast, is that our society has gone moral bankruptcy. We are suffering from moral bankruptcy. And we have human beings who shouldn't be parents answering parents.
Is it peculiar to the southeast,
I'm
or
focusing
is
on
it
my
a national problem?
It's a national problem, but I'm focusing on my constituency, which is the east.
Okay.
We have people who shouldn't be parents. They believe that they can only just get married and begin to give birth to anybody they like and send them all over the street to cause trouble. You don't just give birth to children because even animals can give birth.
Yes.
But what matters is how do you train those you give birth to? We're talking about the media. We are in the era of social media. I'm not talking about the conventional media. If her statement is going on the social media, I will agree. But I don't think the conventional media will put up such issue for youth to see. Let me give you an example. You just wake up one morning, you give birth to a child, the child grows up. Mommy, I'm going to so place. You do not have any monitoring, you don't do anything. The child just comes back and do whatever he or she likes. What do you do? Those of them who claim to be parents here in Aba, from morning to night, they are in cemetery area or area. That's what they do. They don't care to look at their children. And she talked about peer influence or whatever. Now, the peer group are now the people parenting your children for you. By the time they come back, you hear certain languages you don't understand. You don't ask them, how do you come about these languages? You keep quiet. Now they imbibe these things, and tomorrow you have lackadaisical children all over the street, you have recalcitrant youth all over the street, and we turn around to ask God what happened. We are not serious. We can only be serious if we start from home to begin to chastise ourselves. In this issue of Ukurumiri, it is now an issue of home, church, and the entire society. Thank you.
Onyinye, the family is your terrain, this is your area. Is it as a result of faulty foundation, beginning from the home? And you are aware that the family is the first agent of socialization.
Definitely, everything starts from the home. Let me just respond to what he said. When I talked about the media, I was actually saying about the social media, which gives young people access to, I said both negative and positive information.
Not the traditional media.
No, of course, that's not what that's why I said both the negative and positive information. Okay. And that's why we still have it at the forefront today. It's there at the front, so whatever happens, everyone is aware of it and we spread it, everybody knows. Now the family, I want to just say everything he said is true. The family, and this is because the society first has this role of pushing people into getting into marriages first and becoming parents. If somebody gets married today, the next 3 months everybody's looking at the lady. Someone will get as close as touching the lady's stomach. I'm trying to see, is there anything there? Your own parent will call you, is anything wrong? Please tell me. Because this is a young man and a young woman who have just come together, who are trying to get to know each other and say, okay, let's just wait a little. But no, we pressurize them. So at the end of the day, we are having parents who have no business. Some time ago, I wrote an article, and the editor of the newspaper, then I was in Port Harcourt, told me that what I wrote was true, but it was un-African. What is it that I wrote that was un-African? I said, parenting shouldn't be for everybody. I don't believe every adult, because you are biologically fit, should be a parent.
It's very tedious.
Yes, parenting should be for people who are psychologically fit, who are ready to sacrifice a little bit of their time, their luxury, and everything to attend to children. Now, you even talked about people who go out in the morning and come back at night. How about the people who sit at home? How about the mothers who sit at home 24/7 and sit in front of the television and they have no negative, no positive influence on their children? They don't even know what is going on around them. All they do is, in fact, all they have is negative influence, because what they do is sit there. Maybe you see a 3-year-old child sit with this same mother and watch a program that is slated, has been said, 16 years above. So we have it until we begin to go back to parenting, go back to the society. And if we talk about parenting, the society must take a role. And that's why I liked it when we talk about the issue of religious organizations. Let's stop this issue of focusing on prosperity. And a lot of things are not to be mentioned in the religious setting. Is a problem. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's tell parents what they need to know. Let's begin to educate young people. You know, at a point, there's a time I said, possibly people should go back to the elder time. When in the past, my grandmom told me for a young lady to get married, they have to go through the process of Umede back then, where you prepare people for parenting, for a woman for marriage and everything. So everything must go back. We must, of course, when a mother and a father is not ready, when they are not equipped with the right information and they are not prepared to put in what we have, you are going to raise children who are just heads and shoulders, waiting for wind to come and carry them. So the third thing that comes, we say peer pressure. Every child that has been well armed at a certain stage in life will be faced with peer influence. But even if you step in there, have an experience, something will remind you of what you were told. The values that have been instilled in you, you can make a mistake and you go back. I've always told people, teenagers will always be teenagers. But when the chiefs are down, you will know them by the families they come from. So we must go back and raise children who are children, not heads and shoulders walking the streets.
Okay, Ifani, you were raised properly from the way you talk and other things. Now, why do you think the peddlers of this drug are targeting our youth in our rural communities?
The answer is very simple, Mr. Zems. You don't, if you want to destroy your people, you start from their roots. Our villages, our communities, our hamlets, our kindreds, these are our safest places. The peddlers of these drugs have noticed something very crucial that the government is doing. Every government focus is on the cities.
Urban centers.
Urban centers. NDLEA offices are all in the urban centers. I want to show you something in Abia State now. Just take a good look at Aba. NDLEA office at Ikotek Mene Road. Obohill. Maybe they may have small outlets within Aba. Do they have office in Mbausi? Do they have a single office in Akwete? Do they have a single office at Owaza? Do they have a single office at maybe Sulimo? They don't. So these people know where government barely look at. And because of the destruction of our local government system and the, let me say, insignificant roles our traditional rulers are now playing, the best thing is to go to the rural areas and begin to push it from there. Push it from the rural areas. People from the city will even come to the rural areas and buy it and go back. Nobody will look at what is happening. So the fabrics is being destroyed from the villages because they know there are no focus there. It's not that they can't bring it to the city. Yes. They're also selling it to city. But going to the villages will give them more relaxed mind to perpetrate the crime without anybody noticing it. Why we are noticing it now is that it brought about a high level of crimes in our villages that people are beginning to wonder, what is happening? Remember, most of the places we regard as villages 5 years ago are no longer villages.
Yeah.
If you go to some places you call villages now, they are more informed than some persons here in the city. So when these things are happening, people are now doing videos of people misbehaving. That was when we were able to see it. So the people who are peddling these drugs, they know what they are doing, they know why they started from the villages. Because hence we are destroyed from the villages. I tell you, very soon most of us will not be able to go home.
I'm still going to ask you the same question. Why targeting those in the rural communities?
Such businesses will thrive better where people are ignorant, where ignorant level is higher. And he has just said it. How many times, now I want to strike an agency of the government. The National Orientation Agency is supposed to be the arm of the government that takes up this and
in every local
government should have it.
And raise awareness.
Let's even say that they were not there before now. Since this issue came up, what do we see? Have they gone there? Is anything going on? Do we have jingles in our local dialects? Are people talking about it? What does my mother, because what I always do is, when I hear an issue coming up, I'll go to ask my mother, how is this thing? What she tells me about it will let me know how much people around her know about it. Because she's enlightened to some extent and she listens to the radio. Mm-hmm. So if she does not know about Urumiri, then something is wrong.
No single jingle is going on in any radio station.
If somebody is not telling the people, because it's not really about talking about it. It's not about people bringing them to flog them. Someone has to go down and begin to educate, and this goes back to parents now. Their relationship with the children. And people wait for children to grow. Life does not start in teenagehood. It starts in childhood. People in the rural communities at the present time are battling with hunger and starvation more than here. So they're even very busy. They go to their farms and come back and will not know until such a case. You had the one that came out, had to beat the mother to stupor, that the community member had to come and what is it? And he was threatening to kill people. So that is where it is. The government, there's no government presence, and up till now, most government in the southeast are feeling unconcerned because this thing is going to consume all of us. It is going to consume all of us. It's already consuming us.
It's consuming
okay,
us.
Because like you said, we can't even go.
You can't. You cannot even go. You are painting it. You have to be frank to the people here.
Yes. We are already being consumed.
We are unsafe.
We are very, very unsafe.
So when you cannot correct a little child again, nobody is safe.
So that's what's happening in the rural communities. That's why it's there, and that's why it's going to get worse. Because from there, don't forget, this is end of the year. By January, we're going to have young people moving from the rural communities out to the city. So we're going to have those who are already addicted to it,
Yes.
moving into the city. Then they will not be like Kaba here. You know where they meet. They're gonna meet.
Do you know in the past, people in the village, whenever they want to take their child to the city, they will warn you, don't corrupt my child. Don't. But today,
It's the other way
if
around.
your children is going home for Christmas, you want them, don't go to the village and be corrupt. Oh. Are you seeing the contrast? Within 10 years, we've changed. Our villages have become the center of corruption.
Okay, 2 days ago, governors of the 5 southeastern states met in Enugu, the political capital of southeast Nigeria, and they said, we have resolved to be very committed in our fight against hard drugs in our region, especially the new one called methamphetamine, locally known in southeast as Mburumiri. We have decided that all shops and locations where any hard drug is sold will be forfeited to the state government, and all those promoting the trade or indulging in hard drug shall be seriously isolated to face the law. Why are the governors waking up at this time? Is it because that non-state actors are now addressing the issue with their own method?
And yes, you got it right there. The 5 governors are ashamed. They are ashamed of themselves. They are ashamed that their people have disgraced them. They are ashamed that youth leaders, community leaders have taken up jobs that local government, that the governors destroyed. All the governors, they destroyed the local government system. They are ashamed that something is happening in their area. They are ashamed that people who should be rehabilitated are people being flogged. That is why they are ashamed. And that is why you see them making political statements of what they would. Let me tell you something these governors don't know, because I like telling people the truth about the governors. The leader of the Southeast governor was the one who made the statement. He said that yes, he said that the shops where these drugs are sold will be forfeited. Who told Governor Dave Umahi that Mburumiri is being sold in shops? You see the problem we have here. That drug is not being sold inside any chemist shop. They are being sold in village markets, uncompleted buildings, rural bushes. If you go to places in Anambra and Imo, you will see where they are selling these things in uncompleted buildings, drinking houses, different. So, where are you going to identify any store in my village today where they sell Mburumiri? They are not smart. You have, okay. Few years ago, governors in the East started dictating who will be president general in communities, who will be traditional, who will even be a priest or even bishop. They started dictating. By the time they appoint these their cronies who don't even know anything about the communities, how are they going to get reports on what is happening in communities? When you've destroyed the local government system, you've destroyed the traditional system, you've destroyed the religious system. Today you are looking for information and you are telling me you will forfeit buildings where Mburumiri is sold. Who told you that Mburumiri is being sold in chemist shops? Go to your village. I am from a village, and I know that there is no way you will come out and see one shop where they say they sell Mburumiri. They carry these things to move about and give to our people in different places that nobody even expected. The people who are doing this business are more prepared than the government. The government is being reactionary.
They're always reacting. That's the thing.
They are only reacting.
They're always reacting to issues. No
they are not
proactive
responding
measures.
because they are seeing
They
videos of people being
always.
flogged. Ask them, from Abia to Imo, to Anambra, to Enugu, to Ebonyi, how many of you have set up a committee to look into what is happening in your communities? Then you sit in Abakaliki, you sit in Umuahia, you sit in Owerri, you sit in Oka, you sit in Enugu, the coast city, and you begin to formulate statements. Let them come down and allow the local system to run. Every crime is local. You don't bring an international expert to fight a local crime. This crime is local. Come down.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifeanyi Chukwu. At this point, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, issues of the moment continues. Stay tuned.
Tumbulu Mili. Say no to Mbulu Mmili. Say no to Mbulu Mmili. Ah, Akuzu youth, Akuzu youth, Akuzu youth. Akuzu youth on movement. Salutation for Mbulu Mmili. Say no to Mbulu Mmili. Say no to drug abuse. Say no to Mbulu Mmili.
Na bido tata gaba na ihe abalị nne gị na nna gị ụlọ ịnụ ihe m na-ekwu Chizom ihe ekwe anyị mkpa na bido tata gaba na ihe abalị nne gị na nna gị ụlọ ibe eji wee mụta iwu ka ịba alụ bụ ụlọ a sị na-achọ ọzọ ụmụ na ụmụ na-amụ ya ọkụ na ibe achọ bụ nwa na-anwata iwe olili ọ bụ ya bido tata gaba ya aja abụ ụmụ na ihe abụzi nwa ka ị nebe nne gị na nna gị anya ọkwụ ya a sị na-ebigo keke ile eziokwu ka asị na-ekwusi okwu ike ego iko keke ile wee gbaa mkpụrụ mmiri ọkwa mkpụrụ mmiri ka iji egba ile keke wee gbaa mkpụrụ mmiri ọkwụ ya ego ego mechiri 300,000 ile wee gbaa mkpụrụ mmiri ọkwụ ya ejekwaghị ego gị jee chọọ ibe ihe eme igbere ya gbaa mkpụrụ mmiri ọkwụ ya and ijecha ori fụta ego mkpụrụ mmiri ka iji ewere agba mkpụrụ mmiri aba anyị na-agba ka ego o si atọ
N'otu Mbulu Mmili. Say no to Mbulu Mmili. Say no to Mbulu Mmili.
Welcome back to the program. This is Issues of the Moment, and today our talking point is on methamphetamine, popularly known as Mbulu Mmili in Igbo communities. Now, Onyinye, before we went on that break, we were talking about what government, the Southeast governors are saying that they will do, and what our youth are doing in the villages to tackle the issue. Don't you think that this has become a period to have strong youth associations in Igbo communities so that they can fight all these menace?
This is a time to form strong youth associations. Why do we have to wait? This is the problem. Just like, why are we all being reactive? Why do we have to wait for things to happen? When I was growing up in the village, all of us grew up in village. Okay, some of us, I did. I'm a typical village girl. We have strong youth associations led by people whom the government had no influence on. They were just neutral people, and if you do a certain thing, you were aware of the punishment that you are going to face. So there were certain things couldn't do that. And that was when he talked about somebody telling you, don't take my child to the city and corrupt the child.
Yes.
Because then we have standards, there are things that could not. But no, like the government, we have the Indians and the traditional rulers who are just there, stooges, nothing. So why, I hate this method. We must drop this approach of being reactive. We have to become proactive. Right now, I made a statement earlier. Life does not start at teenagehood. It begins in childhood. And if a person is not formed, or rather is not appropriately formed, because these people are already formed. If a person is not appropriately formed in childhood, it becomes very difficult to bend. I always tell people about my grandmom's, they say my grandma will tell you, if you want to have a bend stick, you bend it when it's fresh and allow it to dry. When it's dry, you want to bend it, it breaks. That is the point at which we are now. That having said, there is need to form a strong a strong stand to begin to look at the younger ones, necessarily all these ones.
Yes.
The government should think about how to rehabilitate these ones. I hope the governors of Southeast can do it, because I know they are paying lip service to everything. Most of the things they tell you, just theory, just come to the television and say what they want to say. If they can take it serious and want to rehabilitate, I hope they are still at the state where they can be rehabilitated. It's possible if they are sincere. Then we begin to look at children, because as these things are happening, we are having young ones looking at them.
And they are learning very
Even when
fast.
we don't know, good. These ones are, many of them will tell you these are their role models.
Of course. In
They are
the
role
next
models.
50 years, junkies will be traditional rulers in the
Yes.
East. Junkies.
You are going far.
They will be traditional rulers in the
right
East.
now,
Junkies
with due respect to people from my community, something is going wrong in my own community. The last time I went home, and someone came to tell me that he was being appointed as traditional prime minister, I looked at him. I looked at him very well. So when you were looking at me, I said, both to yourself and the traditional ruler, something is wrong with you, Dionyese. But these are the Ezes that were put in place by the government in power. And the person I was talking to, he understood what I was saying. He was trying to invite me to his inauguration. I said I wasn't going to come. What for? Because you are handing the community over to a 419, everybody knows. I mean, it is crazy. So what do you think? This is a young man who takes drugs. So tell me, what is he going to do now in my village if we make this to my village? Is he going to bring them out? No.
No, he will
so we have to. Now, possibly, this is the time maybe we got to give the communities back to the women. Because it seems to me like the mothers have to take charge now. I remember growing up, my grandmom and her group were the ones in charge of discipline among the young ones. Maybe we should go back to that point of letting the women take charge of the community and begin to groom the young ones. As long as we still have mothers that the young people can look up to.
Yes.
Because we have a problem. Right now, we have a lot of people who have no business being mothers carrying babies, suckling these children. So if we still have some responsible women, I think it's time to begin to groom the young ones. Begin to tell them, let them see the consequences. If they see this beating, fine, it's okay. But you know what? This is not how to communicate with young people. If you start early and begin to have a child, okay? And I begin to groom my child, have a relationship with my child, and my child can talk to me about anything, and I'm able to make my child look at the consequences of certain actions, and the child knows this thing, and is not going to do it because, not for mommy's sake, for his sake, because he or she understands the implications of doing these things. Until we go back to that level, we are not going anywhere.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful explanation. Now, Ifeanyi, I learned that some communities in your area are tackling the menace in their own way.
Yes.
Can you share with us what they are doing, and are these measures yielding the desired results?
You are correct. Some communities, including mine, there is no need of mentioning names. They are tackling it in their own way. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand those communities. Culture differs.
Yes.
You know, prior to the coming of the white men, we have several ways of fighting evil. From where I hail from, we fight certain things with our traditional masquerades and all that. Somewhat, you know, they have started it. And I'm telling you that you will, the result, you will hear the result, because it normally brings result. But I'm just worried why we are getting to that at this century. That shows you the failure in leadership. We have failed. I'm not saying the government has failed.
I understand.
I say we have failed. We failed our children. We failed our elders. And we have failed our ancestors. To crown it all, we failed God. God handed a society over to us. He handed a place we could have controlled and run if we had laws in place to punish offenders. But this is a society where we tolerate sacred cows. Certain things go on, we allow them to continue. Go to Ogwaru local government in Anambra State. Go to Oru West in Imo State. Oru East in Imo State. Nnewi in Anambra State, especially Nnewi North. Go to Ihiala in Anambra State. You're going to see certain things that are going on there. You'll be shocked.
Is it because of this Mkurumiri?
Yes. Yes. Nobody is safe anymore. And I do not want religious people to come after my head. But I know very well that those myths will work. And if you are religious, Christian, Muslim, if you have a solution through your own religion, you can also bring it up, community to the owners. You know, I will not advocate total handover of community to women, but there are roles women play.
Yes.
There are roles women play. Put it at this cross, they will say, this is Ozem's son, because he is behaving like Ozem's. So we should begin to go back to family culture. Every family has threats that they are known for. If your family is known for crime, you cannot continue with it. You have to change that history to be able to balance.
And there must be a turning point somewhere.
No, there should be. But the government and the people, we are too far from each other. We are a state governor. I keep saying this. A state governor wants to dictate who will be a president general of a small village because of political reasons. He wants to control who will vote and who will not vote, who will collect what and who will not collect what. And they have ruined our people.
The fact is that the government has failed the people. The government has failed in the responsibility of taking charge. Because these people we are giving power over power, okay, let's just say the power was given over to them by the people. Let's take it that way. That's what they're supposed to be. No, that's what they're supposed to be. That should be the definition. It should be that we have voted and handed over power to them. That's what it ought to be. But you and I know what it is. Now we say you take charge. Take responsibility of the protection, be a leader. But the government has failed. What we have now is the government for themselves and by themselves, within themselves. So they don't care about what is happening. They don't care about the youth. This story of coming to talk, hold meetings, have conferences, I'm tired of them because I work with young people. I know what is going on. I work with children. I know what is going on. I go into schools. I see what is going on. I know that our schools, many of the primary schools today, are places where people hawk these substances are being sold inside within many government schools.
We have example in
right here. I will show you. Not just one
primary school.
Not just one school.
It's one.
It's not just one school. You get to where there are many of them. So what are we doing? We have failed the people. We are not leading by examples. The government for the young people, all they want to do is, okay, you are in power. You took the whole money. You took the whole power. So I want to be like you. I want to be strong. And if I cannot have money, I can be strong in that way. So even if it means kidnapping you tomorrow, fine. So if they can't send those in power, they reach you at night, who actually they don't even have the money to give to them. So it is a problem. The government must take the lead. Or if you think it's too big for you, please, somebody should. I don't understand what is going on. You can't keep telling us, government will come and tell you to pray. We didn't put you there because we didn't know that we had to pray. Why do human beings have to push back to God a task for which He has given us the tools to carry out?
Yes.
A responsibility, just like he talked to a parent now about child abuse, saying, I'm praying, my child is covered with the blood. Yes?
Blood.
Which blood? What is your responsibility? Why did He make you a parent? You asked to be a parent in the first place. By the mere coming together of a man and woman, you have made a prayer and say, I want to be a parent. That prayer is being granted, and you just go down, you don't want to do anything. So everybody is involved. The government, number one, the parents, the society, religious organizations, everybody must come back and say enough is enough. But looking at things as they are presently, I want to suggest that after the rural women who going back to not just handling over them, going back to the nurturing of children, which naturally should be their responsibility. The nurturing of children is for women. Then we should come back to the religious leaders. I'm saying this because this is a setting where we listen to our religious leaders more than we listen to any other person. An average Nigerians will take the second order. So if these same religious leaders will actually come up and sincerely get committed to fighting,
and stop talking about money.
Stop talking about this and focus on building of human beings. Because these are the people who are actually, if we call ourselves evangelists, which are what we're supposed to be, we're supposed to you are out there to look for souls. These are the souls you should build. If you want to look at them, don't wait till they're adults. And the churches should go back to their children departments in church.
See, you should look at this.
The whole is a combined thing.
Let's look at this issue of flogging now. Forget, Mr. James, you mentioned something about people flogging people.
Yes.
Let me tell you the whole truth here, and I want the world to hear my voice. We should stop flogging those who are taking these drugs and look for the sellers.
The peddlers.
Are you getting it? The peddlers. If I know why I'm telling you, because it takes a big man in the community to bring those things in.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we can get the peddlers and deal with them the way we are dealing with kids whom they are deceiving, I think it will stop. Let me tell you, if you want to stop flood from entering this place, you go to the drainage where it passes and block it. It will not cross to that place again. It will start disturbing the time. Stop the suppliers and you will kill these things. Let's just open up.
Because this thing they are doing is like a child hasn't paid school fees, and the child comes to school and you beat the child, and the child is not the one who's supposed to pay the fee.
Okay, before we draw the curtain on today's edition of Issues of the Moment, Onyinye, let me ask you this. You have been working with teenagers all your life. Have you, in any of your outings, raised the issue of Urumiri with them?
The issue of drugs use, have substances you say. The Urumiri for me is just a new thing. I haven't raised the issue of Urumiri. Okay. But we've been talking about drug addiction and the influence of drug and the consequences. At some point, we worked with the NDLA to go to schools and talk to young people. Yes, we did it. But you know the irony of the things we do with these societies? I will come as an individual or with my small organization and want to go to a place and want a government official to come and support us to go and talk, and someone demands that I make some monetary donation.
To render help.
How is that? I'm just doing my work, I'm not being paid. We sit, you go to the road safety, you want to go and talk about safety of children on the road, and you are told how much someone has to come back to.
Is that happening in this society?
Oh, if I'm to say it here, then you know that I have experienced it.
Okay, Ifeanyi, on your own part, I want you to be brief. Can we see it as a failure and indictment on the government and law enforcement agents when we have to invoke the power of the courts in fighting modern day crimes?
Yeah, of course, they have failed. I'm telling you that MDLEA doesn't have offices in the villages. I'm telling you that some villages in Southeast don't even have a police post. You know what a police post is? The list. They don't have. No single security. How do you expect something to happen? Let me tell you something. We are talking about Murumuri. If you go to my area, I don't know whether it's the same. There's another one. They've got different names in those areas. And all these things will stop.
Okay, I think with that we have come to the end of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. For the past 30 minutes, we have been talking about the popularity of the drug methamphetamine, which we call Murumuri in our local parlance. I want to thank my two guests, Onyinyechi Nwosu and Emmanuel Ifeanyi, for coming to the studios of Living Television Film Academy to talk to us frankly on this very burning issue. I want to thank both of you. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
And my name is Chimezie Ozems. I want to thank you for being part of today's edition of Issues of the Moment. Join us next week for another interesting edition.